Jason Sanders is here from Cinertain, which begs the question, what in the world is Cinertain?
Cinertain is a mix of cinema and entertainment, so just kind of.
Well, I understand it's a smoosh. I get where you, but is it a company or?
Yeah, it's a company my wife and I formed. I'm affiliated with Hectic Films, Ricky Bird and I.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Love those guys. Do good work.
Yeah, a lot of people know Hectic Films, so this is kind of our sister company that we branched off because we've been doing drive-ins in Bakersfield guerrilla style for a while now.
Right.
So going downtown, projecting on the side of buildings. Ricky Bird used to get in trouble. Cops would, give him tickets and everything else. So we let him be the redheaded stepchild.
Nice.
So,
I know of a particular group of musicians in Texas who got in big trouble for broadcasting their film on the side of a building because it was porn.
I don't think we ever did that. And
it turned into this whole thing about the definition of porn, but I've seen some stills from the movie, and I think this one cleared the bar.
Definitely.
But but you're right, guerrilla film. But so what do you want? I mean, what do you want to do?
Well, the main goal, Bakersfield needs a drive-in again. It's fun. It's nostalgic. People like it. They miss it. It's not, for times like right now, today, how hot it is, yesterday, how hot it is. Yeah, you're right. No one wants to go out in that kind of weather, but there are certain times where it's going to be nice. They want that feeling. Everyone's talking about it, of going out, carload of people, bring your own ice chest, lawn chairs, whatever, hang out and watch, a double feature, something fun. And the theaters around now, they're great. There's nothing wrong with them. The air conditioning's amazing. But it's just that fun thing that we haven't had in a while. In other cities, they're starting to pop up. It's now cheaper. The quality is so much better. And you can get away with a lot more things as far as the structure itself. You used to have the old, huge, Crest Drive-In, huge screens that you had to maintain. They'd blow down like you were talking about.
Yeah, the one in Bass Lake blew down in a storm.
Yeah,
that used to be a thing everywhere. If you go to Bass Lake, you go to the drive-in. But I don't know if it's been fixed yet or not.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I think people will come out there's certain people that will make their way out regardless of, well, I shouldn't say regardless of how hot it is, but to an extent, they'll sit out through the misery to have a good time and have a date night or a family fun night.
And when you talk about it being cheaper, and I'm as big a fan, because I would like a drive-in theater in Bakersfield. I would like an Alamo Draft House in Bakersfield.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as being cheaper goes, how does that work? Because everything that I've read is one of the reasons that drive-in movie theaters are becoming even more extinct. And I was just reading an article last year that came out last year that talked about of the 450 or so drive-in theaters that still exist in this country, that about 70% of those are maybe wiped out with the inclusion of digital projectors.
Yeah,
because digital projectors are incredibly expensive. How would it be cheaper to maintain and build a drive-in movie theater in that kind of atmosphere?
Well, the approach that we have, our business plan, that's kind of what sets us apart, is that we're trying to do it on a mobile scale, saying, okay, the city already has parks and parking lots that are not used. We already have all this land that's not being used at night during this time. Well, drive-ins are at night. So if it's not being used, why not, get the permits, set everything up, because everything is portable. The screens now, they're not the 56-foot screens that have to be planted into the ground, with all the metal, structures. They're now inflatable, and they're doing them all over the U.S. So it works in other cities.
Johnston Farms has a giant one out there east of town, and they show kids movies out there. They got a big inflatable deal. Everybody can just lay on it, watch a movie. It's brilliant.
Really?
Yeah, it is amazing. So that side of it alone kind of takes out the whole permanent structure having to be, located somewhere. Then you have permits and zoning and all the fun stuff that goes along with that. When you're able to move it to a location that's already existing, like a park, we're not talking about movies in the park because the city's already doing that, but the parking lot itself, being able to drive in and set up the inflatable screen on the grass, you still park. We have a ticket system because the studio requires you to have your box office. So
I just thought of something. You could text all you want because you're in your car.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And you have your own crying room. You brought it with you. You drove in with it. So if the kids are crying, just
and then how does the sound work? Are you talking about having people tune it in on their radios? Is that kind of thing?
Yeah, an FM transmitter. It's gotten really high tech now. You can go wireless, Bluetooth. There's a lot of speakers now. Anywhere you go, you're going to see these huge Bluetooth speakers down to the little tiny pocket handheld ones. So we'll have some that we can provide. I don't know. We haven't worked out all the details of whether we're just going to give them out because people are going to steal them. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, trying to figure out a collateral because, essentially.
You plant explosives in them. And
yeah,
then if somebody
exactly.
steals one, you boop,
there's
and
a
remote detonator.
Yeah, there's a transmitter and they get past the
That's
line.
a solid idea.
I know. It's what that's why he needs to come to me first. I have a lot of great ideas.
Yeah.
So.
But I think it's good. A lot of people are very interested in it. More people want to know where it's going to be, and our approach is not necessarily where it's going to have a permanent location. It's where can we get it for the time being, because I think as long as we get a venue up and we have the movie studios on our side that are saying, yeah, you can do these movies. Unfortunately, since it's not a permanent fixed location, you cannot do first run. But 2 weeks later, after the movie's been out,
people want to do this for the fun factor. They're
Right.
not looking to go see this week's movie.
Right.
And you probably couldn't anyway because they're all in purely digital formats anyway.
Well, we will have the digital projector. That's actually on its way. So
What does that set you back?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit. So we are still looking for investors. That's part of the other problem. We've kind of funded it ourselves, and we've got a small investment so far to get us this far. To get it started, we've started talking to the Parks Recreation Division, the city, and we should have a location to at least start getting some free movies going to help, spread
But
the word.
isn't a big fat part of the expense of this the money you got to pay to the studios to get any movie to show on your screen anyway?
It's not too bad. It's about between 35 and 40% for the second run movies. So
Really? Well,
yeah,
that's not- okay, that's
it's not bad.
manageable
Yeah,
then. Yeah.
that's not bad, and that's off the ticket sales. So concessions and all the other stuff, like all the other drive-ins, that's how they made their money.
And is your well, we got to take a break. We'll talk about more of the business plan on the other side of the break and what you would charge, and is it like carloads of people and all that? And because I would like to see us get back to that a little bit. I want to see people sneak their friends in the trunk of their cars. It's something cool about that. We'll be right back and do just that. If you have a question or a comment, you feel free to ring us up 842-CURRENT 842-5376. We'll be right back. It's First Look with Scott Cox at Bakersfield.com and News Talk 1180 KERN. I was just telling you, my lunatic, degenerate gambler friend Brad is at they rented this house at Bass Lake. And they drive up there because it's lovely. And they had a movie theater, apparently, drive-in at one point, like a Last of the Mohicans deal. And he gets up the first day, and he's like all excited. There we go. He goes out to the end of the dock at the house they rent, and there's your lake, mister. Let's go sailing, kids. Yeah, there's apparently part of the lake where, let's just say the water's maybe a little bit low. And if you squint, you can see tire tracks, which means that people have been out there just driving around. But a lot of the lake still has water, so you should totally go or whatever. But it's also 100 degrees. Follow your heart. Everybody needs to recreate. Jason Sanders is here from Cinertain. And by the way, our Ricky Bird will be on with their new venture that they've got going on. People who work hard and are creative in that and do cool stuff, I'm the first person to throw down with them. And now they have this idea. And by the way, this has been all over the world. People are experimenting with this right now, bringing back the drive-in. I'm absolutely for it. There's a lot of options you have, up to and include. Do you know you get a lot of places will have an app on your phone you get, and you can just have your headphones in
Right.
and have the audio pumped right into there.
Right into you, yep.
It's better than having that big, giant, crappy little speaker in the 200-pound metal container they would hang on your window back in the day. There's a lot of good options. And if you can do this on the cheap, and you can, getting the movies is cheaper. The screen technology, obviously, is, you got a lot of options. They have inflatable screens now.
Right. Yeah. And that's the option we'll be going with, just so that we can pick it up, tear it down. The hard part with the old ones was the weather. It was sitting out there all the time, constantly.
Right.
So the sun
This one, you
beating
just
down.
let the air out of it and take it with you.
Take it down. put it back
How,
up.
what the success or failure of this idea is going to hinge on people supporting it.
Correct.
In Bakersfield, the guy that started Alamo Drafthouse, Tim League started at the Tejon Theater.
Oh, wow.
And it didn't work out at all. People didn't grasp the concept, and he said, "Screw you, hippies! I'm going to Texas."
Yeah.
And now
Now
he's
look at
a hero. He might as well be Davy Crockett now. He's a hero in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
And for good reason. So is this something that people here are going to support? Or are you looking at this local, or are you looking at making this a big deal across the country?
We're primarily focusing on here local. Kern County is so huge, and there's not a drive-in anywhere near us. So the support has been really great so far. The feedback has been great. And Hectic Films has always had this big following of fans who have always told us, why don't you guys start something like this, whether it's a film festival or a theater, drive-in, something like that. And so we've been working on this plan for about 5 years, and it was kind of just holding on, wait until the time is right, the technology is there, and obviously the movie studios with the digital conversion had to make sure that came down a little bit, because it started out really high for that, and now it's gone down. And actually the 30th of this month, at the end of this month, film is essentially dead. The movie studios will no longer ship new movies out. So we've been in contact with almost all the drive-ins in California, talking to them, seeing how how they're doing, what their process is, if the city or their town supports it, how they're doing. So we've got a good gauge, I feel, of what Bakersfield may or may not do, and luckily we've got most of the big expenses out of the way, so that if it doesn't work out, we can still take it to corporate events. We can do parties.
Right.
We can do car shows. We can go to Morro Bay, Pismo. There's a lot of other uses for it.
Oh, can you imagine setting up something like this at the beach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's got to be somebody over there right now that's thinking about. But even you could just go out to Lake Ming.
Right. Right.
Who's not going to want to pay $5 to go out there and be able to watch a movie? And matter of fact, Lake Bryan, Texas does this. They have one of those out there, and people pull their boats up.
Right. Yep.
And it's half in this little cove, and they put it up on the big inflatable screen, and there's all these people back their boats in, and then there's cars and people in line. It's really cool.
There's so many different places, so many venues for it, and that's the nice thing about it being portable. We don't want to lock ourselves in necessarily to being stuck to a drive-in like the past. I mean, they all went out for a reason, and unfortunately, it's because they couldn't keep up with the times. The demand wasn't there. The heat is obviously a huge factor. So if we're able to move out of the conditions and keep people kind of happy in a certain environment that they want to be in, then I think it's better for everyone.
It sounds like and look, movie fans there are people out there who aren't as interested in the whatever the latest surround sound technology or digital project. They just want to see a fun movie with a bunch of people and have a good time and celebrate movies.
Right.
And those people will support something like this.
Yeah.
There's a drive-in in Austin that shows The Big Lebowski every week.
Oh, yeah. We want to bring a Lebowski Fest
and
here.
it is full every time. I mean, it is full every time.
Yep.
But that's Austin. This is Bakersfield.
You know what? That's been a big one so far. A lot of people have reached out and said, "Are you going to do a Lebowski Fest?" So it's funny. We have a lot of people who ask about film festivals, music festivals, but then Lebowski Fest by itself.
If you show
huge.
Army of Darkness once a month, people are going to show up to see that. There's a million of those kind of movies those cult movies that every Wednesday or Tuesday or whatnot, you show one of these cult classics. People are going to show up.
Yeah, I was telling my wife, can you imagine during Halloween, the month of Halloween, the whole month, having horror movies out there at a drive-in to bring that feeling back?
Oh, see, that was
Yeah, I mean I remember going to the drive-in and there were scary movies, and it freaked me out. I mean,
and then you could hire people to go around and tap on the glass of people's windows.
Yeah,
great.
That's what my wife said last night. I said, I think I would punch someone if he scared the crap out of me like that. I'm pretty sure he's. I mean,
you don't want to make it a small guy. You want it to be a big burly fella. But no, it sounds like I'm one of those people that would go, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah. And I think there's a certain crowd that will always kind of like that idea and that feeling of, or even a date night. There's so many people who just want something different to do.
Yeah, if it wasn't for drive-in movies, half of us wouldn't even be here.
That's true.
We never would have been conceived, let alone born.
Yeah, a lot of what was it? A lot of the baby
what are you
boomers
saying,
were.
Scott?
I'm saying I think once upon a time people would go to the movie theater and fool around in their automobiles. Hop. That's what I'm saying.
You're saying?
Yeah, I would put even money. That's where you came from.
No,
Unless
that's
it was some.
no.
I think there's some footage
Really,
of
you
that,
know
right?
this? Your parents set you down and walked you through the time and place and the whole deal.
Yeah.
You know what? That's probably actually true.
Yeah.
Jason, seriously, best of luck with this. I hope it takes off. I'd go.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, we have the website, Cinertain.com. You can check us out on Facebook to get more information too. And we have an Indiegogo page if people do want to donate. But we are not. This whole thing is not hinging on whether or not that campaign goes through or not. We're moving past it. It was just a thought because so many people went online and said Bakersfield wants this. So we said, hey, if you want it, here's an opportunity to kind of chime
Like
in.
a Kickstarter deal. You can support it financially. Well, good for you.
Same thing, yeah.
And here, you know what? And again, I know that I'm basically a giant juvenile delinquent. Go out there to John's. Have you seen that deal, that inflatable thing out there for the kids? That big, it's like a bounce house deal.
Yeah.
And they lay on it and watch the movie on the inflatable screen. I thought, man, why not just do this bigger for grown-ups?
It's amazing, yeah.
That would be sweet right there. What a great way to watch a movie. Well, we shall see what we shall see. It's a good. This is a potential very good time. I'm for that. We need, but this is something that could take off across the country. And
Very well.
Maybe you guys are the ground floor of this deal. Maybe you all become multimillionaires.
All right, let's party.
Boom. See, I like the way this guy thinks.
Nice.
When we come back, Richard Bean is going to be here.
He who must be obeyed.
He literally is, and that's fine. He's a good guy. He still owes me lunch due to our gambling situation. I won that bet, but I'm having a little trouble collecting. I'm going to say that. He did agree to a week, though. Hold on. I got the date right here of my test. 6/3. What is today?
6/10.
6/10. That's 7 days. What do we call that in the common parlance, Hop?
That's a Welcher?
A week.
Welcher.
That's a week, right? Huh.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be here, and Shauna Haddad Byers, one of my favorite people, is going to be here. She's got a new business venture to tell you about. Plus, our buddy Michael, who is down at UCLA right now with the leukemia. I haven't talked about that very much because it's just awful. He's just a great person. He deserves way better than that. But there may be a chance for you to help. We're going to have like a bone marrow drive and all that. We'll tell you how all that's going to pan out. We'll do all that. Jason, you stay at it, buddy.
All right, thanks.
We're down. Hop and I will both be there separately, but we'll both be there.
We'll play Star Wars for you. We'll get Star Wars up.
See Hop, Star Wars.
Yep.
You guys
Yeah.
could go out there in your bare feet and have lightsaber battles. We'll be right back. It's First Look with Scott Cox at Bakersfield.com and News Talk 11.